Welcome to my channel, Brainies. In today's video, I'm going to deliver the content about the topic Sjogren syndrome. Sjogren syndrome is a chronic autoimmune disorder in which the immune system mistakenly attacks the moisture-producing glands. For example, it causes the severe dry eyes and the dry mouth. It also involves the systemic involvement like fatigue, joint pain, and also it affects the organs like lungs, kidneys, and nerves. It's most common in the females over 40 alongside with the other autoimmune conditions like SLE, rheumatoid arthritis, with treatment focusing on mainly on the symptom relief rather than the cure. So it's an autoimmune disorder which attacks the tear producing glands and the saliva, etc., causing the dryness of the eyes and the mouth. So the causes could be genetic factors, environmental factors, etc. So these are the causes. The immune system attacks the moisture producing glands, that is the autoimmune cause. The next one is the genetic factors, and the next one is the environmental triggers. Virus may trigger the conditions in susceptible individuals. Hormones. Estrogen play a very crucial role in this as it often starts around the menopause. Next, the demographic cause, which predominantly affects the women usually in their late 40s to 60s. The classification of Sjogren syndrome, it has two main types. One is the primary Sjogren, where it occurs by itself as a standalone autoimmune condition. Secondary Sjogren's, which develops alongside the another autoimmune disorder like systemic lupus erythematosus, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. Both, of course, primarily targets the moisture-producing glands, causing the dry eyes and dry mouth. But secondary Sjogren's, it involves the symptoms of the primary autoimmune condition plus the Sjogren's. So, as I said, the classification, primary Sjogren syndrome, this type develops independently without any other autoimmune illness. It's characterized by dryness, that is symptoms of Zika, from moisture gland involvement, and it also can affect the other body systems. The secondary Sjogren syndrome, this occurs when Sjogren syndrome develops in someone who has already has any other autoimmune disorders. As I said, it could be like rheumatoid arthritis or systemic lupus erythematosus or even scleroderma. The contributing factors are: the first one is the autoimmune response. The core issue is the immune system attacks the healthy tissues, particularly the salivary gland and the tear gland, thereby leading to inflammation, and the fluid production will be lessened. The next one is the genetic predisposition. For example, the immune system like the HLA genes, which increases the susceptibility. Next is the environmental triggers. A viral or bacterial infection might trigger the onset in generally susceptible individuals, activating the immune system inappropriately. The hormonal factors, as I said, the hormonal causes. This condition is very common in females over the late 40s, suggesting the female hormone estrogen having a greater crucial play in this. The clinical symptoms are: the first one is the dry eyes, that is a sort of gritty sensation, itchiness, redness, blurry vision. The next one is the dry mouth, xerostomia. There's difficulty in swallowing, speaking. Sometimes changes in taste also can happen. Increased cavities, mouth sores, swollen salivary glands. Fatigue, persistent fatigue, and sometimes there is exhausting tiredness or debilitating tiredness. Joints and muscle aches are very common. Another thing is the dryness of the skin, nose, throat, and even the vaginal dryness. Systemic issues like it can also affect the lungs, kidneys, blood vessels, nerves, and also increases the risk of lymphoma. Zika syndrome. The core symptoms of dry eyes, that is keratoconjunctivitis, Zika, and the dry mouth is, we term it as xerostomia. These are often referred to as Zika symptoms, which are central to both the types. The systemic involvement, as I said, Sjogren is a systemic disease, meaning it affects joints. It can affect the joints, nerves, blood vessels, and other organs, with more severe or varied symptoms in secondary cases due to the presence of already present diseases, any other autoimmune disease which is present. Diagnosis. Based on the system, the diagnosis is confirmed by the following tests. First one is a blood test, the autoantibodies, looking for the anti-nuclear antibody ANA, the rheumatoid factor. The eye test, the Schirmer's test, that is, it measures the tear production by placing a strip of filter paper under the lower eyelid. The next one is the ocular surface staining. This staining, that is, they use the dye which is termed as rose bengal. It highlights the dryness or damage on the eye surface. All these tests are performed by a competent, qualified professionals, not by a layman. The next one is the salivary gland test, which is the first test is the salilometry, where it measures the amount of saliva production over the time. The next is the salivary gland ultrasonograph, which we also call it as scintigraphy, which visualizes the damage or function of the major salivary glands, that is the gland of parotid gland and submandibular gland. The next one is the lip biopsy. So a diagnosis is made when symptoms and test results meets the specific criteria. So Sjogren's syndrome treatment focuses on relieving the dryness and inflammation with lubricating eye drops, artificial saliva, and medications like NSAIDs, while more severe cases may need even corticosteroid, disease-modifying drugs, or immune suppressants. Of course, lifestyle modifications are necessary to manage the symptoms. The symptom management are as such. They are as follows. The first one is dry eyes, over-the-counter artificial tears, ointments, nasal sprays, wraparound sunglasses, and punctual glass plugs, like minor surgery to block the tear ducts. All these things can be used. And for dry mouth, the saliva substitutes, for example, sprays, lozenges, gels can be used, sugar-free gums, frequent sipping of water, and good oral hygiene with fluoride. To manage the symptom of joint pain and muscle pain, as usual, like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs or the short-term courses of steroids can be taken, of course, with prescription. Vaginal dryness, water-based lubricants and estrogen creams for postmenopausal individuals can be indicated. Medications to increase the moisture, drugs can be initiated to stimulate the salivary production or the tear production. The lifestyle modifications are rest. Proper sufficient rest are required to combat the fatigue. Exercises. Yoga can play a crucial role in improving the flexibility and to reduce pain. Diet. It is mandatory to limit the amount of caffeine and alcohol, and the patients are requested to stay hydrated and to ensure the good sleep hygiene. Dental care is very much essential, where the regular dental visits are crucial for preventing the cavities from the dry mouth. That's it with my video. Thank you for watching. Kindly support by subscribing and sharing. Meet you all in next video. Thank you once again.